Hey guys, welcome back. I want to get right into it. If you've seen some of my shorts, you've seen that I recently figured out in top-down engine how to add models, how to make sure they're shooting in a certain direction, kind of modeling after what you see in some of these games on TikTok or Instagram where they're always trying to pull you into these 4X, huge exploration and building games. So I wanted to see how quick I could get something built. So let's jump right into it here. Again, I'm using top-down engine. If you see one of my previous videos, I walked through the setup of almost this entire project because I wanted to show you how to do it. If you look here, this is top-down engine. This is kind of their website. They have a bunch of documentation here. I recommend it. I don't want to say as a shortcut, but just as using templates to get things built, right? It's available in the Unity Asset Store. Yeah, it's $75, but the amount of kind of feedback and dopamine you'll get from just getting in and building something with some of these tools underneath you as a foundation is going to be worth that price. So I don't get any affiliate from this. I just thought it was a cool tool, and so that's what I'm using. Now, if we look here at Unity, I have the scene set up. As I mentioned, I have a previous video which I linked showing you kind of how I set up this scene. It's really simple. On the left-hand side in the hierarchy, you'll see some managers like level manager. You'll see the level itself. This is where I added kind of this flooring, which you've seen in some of those games where they kind of have those characters coming at you on some kind of weird floor. So, and then I haven't added any enemies. I have some models, which kind of gives me some borders and the floor, but that's really it. And if I play here immediately, you'll see what I kind of showed in those shorts, the YouTube shorts, is just being able to shoot, having a couple models shoot in a certain direction. So you can see here, I actually added this little drone here. It has its own weapon effect, which is more of like a pistol. It has like a muzzle flare every once in a while. And then the main ship kind of has a random direction as it shoots. So what do I want to do here? Let's add a new model. I'm going to pull in a model I haven't used before because some of the struggle I had was actually in Blender here. I had to come in Blender. I had to change the way that the model faced in its orientation because, to be honest, I had a ship in Unity that was facing to the right and shooting off to the left, or it was facing forward and shooting off of its wing. So I'll help you figure out how to fix that because that was really painful for me to do. So let's go in here. I'm going to go to Assets, Import New Asset. I want to pull in a model. I have a bunch of ship models that I made previously or had someone make. Let's find a really cool one. You guys might like this one, Gigawatt. Obviously it's called the DeLorean. Let's do number 2. We called it Gigawatt in our game. We didn't want to have any issues with copyright. Let's drop it in. There you go. Isn't that a super friggin' cool model? I love this model. Okay, so you'll immediately see the problem that I was dealing with early on, which is the ship needs to face this blue Gizmo line. Right now it's not facing that. So if I was to import this ship and give it some weapons and projectiles, it would shoot off of its wing. It basically shoots wherever that blue Gizmo is pointing. If I zoom in more, you can see that. That's no good. So before I even get started, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go down to DeLorean 2. I'm going to delete this. It's not going to be good for us. And I'm going to avoid the pain. Now, Blender, this is an entirely new tutorial. I learned this a couple years ago. I'm not an expert in modeling at all. You can do this. You just got to have a problem to solve. You just got to jump in and figure it out. So what I'm going to do, I don't actually need Elysium here. This is the first drone I made. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to import, file import another FBX. Okay. And what we want, which one did we want? We wanted the Gigawatt, right? The DeLorean 2. So let's import this. You'll immediately see it's facing this direction, right? But we need it to face right. So I believe all we actually need to do, I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees. Oops, I'm not even holding the entire collection. Let's see what happened here. Rotate x 90 degrees. Need to have my cursor over here. Okay, something is not working for us. Let's select all. We're going to do, let's see, Command A, Shift A. Wow. See, I've already forgot how a lot of this works. Let's do this. I don't need the camera. Let's see. I'm going to undo this because I think part of the problem is, there we go. I need to add to a collection, a new collection. And I'm going to put these in, and this collection is going to call, I'm going to call this, why am I not seeing rename? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I need to rotate this collection, which it may not let me do. Let me just select all of these, rotate X 90 degrees. Okay, I guess we're rotating Y 90 degrees. And it's going to be negative 90 degrees. See, just play with this, right? You don't have to know how everything works to make things work. It may take a little more time, but over time you do learn. Okay, so now what I need to do, I think I can actually, let's see. I could make a new empty for this. I believe that it's been so long since I've been in Blender, but let's see if I do want to, I'm going to do Control A. I'm going to apply all transformations so that location and rotation is applied. And then what I'm going to do is I need to bundle these. And I don't even remember how I did this before. I think if I do Command A, Shift A, there we go. I could create a mesh, create an empty. Let's do, I don't know, let's do an empty and see if I can put everything inside of this empty. It's not going to let me unselect that. Let's do this, shift that. Okay, let's get this empty outside of this collection and put it in the main scene. Let's see if we can attach these to as a child object to that. I don't think it'll let us. Okay. Let's just do it a different way. I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to file export, FBX, selected objects, apply transformation. I'm going to call this, let's say drone 3 even. I may regret this. It may pull them all in as one thing, but I think in Unity, I can put those into an empty. So let's do file. First, let's go here because I'm going to create an empty. I'm going to call this drone. Well, it's really drone 2. Asset, import new asset. I'm going to import that asset that we just made. I think it's in here, Unity tests. There it is, drone 3. Let's rename this. Oh, but I already have drone 2. That's why. Okay, that's fine. Let's import it. In here, we can rename it to drone 2. Not drone 32, drone 2. And I'm going to actually put it inside of this empty called drone 2. Okay, great. Wonderful. So we actually have the model here. We have it imported. Looks like some of these things might be negative. So what's interesting here, and again, this is not a Blender tutorial, but if I spin this around, you're going to notice that some of these spots are empty, which is not good. That's something I need to change. What we can do, if I remember correctly, we can look at the face orientation. So again, I went up here to the viewport overlays face orientation, and I actually need to jump into these. And I think I can flip the faces. Let's see, flip face. Let's see. I may have to ask GPT to remind me how to do this. So tab to enter edit mode. Let's do smooth vertices, mirror vertices, no, snap, split, dissolve vertices. Let's go to GPT real quick, and this may be off screen. Let me see. I know I had Claude open earlier too. Let's take a look at Claude. I have a model in Blender where the faces are backwards. They show red when I input face orientation, and the others show blue. I know I can edit those models and flip the faces how do I do this after entering edit mode? Now I know this isn't part of kind of creating those weapons to shoot, creating the models to shoot in top-down engine, but this is part of just showing you the things you need to learn. Like you just need to dig in, right? Okay, press A to select all faces, hold Alt and click to select face loops, or Shift click to select individual faces, flip. Alt N to open the normals and flip. Okay, so A, what did we say? Shift A or Alt N? Flip. Look at that. That worked. Okay, so let's tab out of that. Let's look around. We definitely need to flip this one. So again, tab A, Shift N. Look at that, flipped them. Perfect. And let's do this one. Tab A, Shift N, flipped them. Okay, that looks a lot better. You may see some of the pink ones in here. Let's see. So obviously if we go inside, they're gonna be all red, but that's fine. And these look like we're just seeing through some of them. I don't think we have any other issues here. So again, let's highlight all of these. Let's go to File, Export, FBX. Wait, we're gonna have to go to drone 4. It is what it is, right? This is the 4th drone. Let's just call it what it is. And what was the name of this one? It wasn't DeLorean, but a Gigawatt, right? We've got selected objects. We have the mesh that we're exporting. We have apply transformation. Let's export it. Okay, let's go back to Unity, and we can leave that one there just so we can compare it. But let's asset, import new asset, Gigawatt. Okay, let's see that. Now I'm gonna throw Gigawatt right into the scene, right into that same drone 2. And let's just like lift it up a little bit. Okay, you can clearly see the difference, right? In that front weapon there, you can see that it's now full. Looks much better, much better. So let's go down to drone here, which is all jacked up, right? It's missing some planes, and we're gonna delete it. Okay, so now we have drone 2, which is going to be the drone on the left side of the ship when we're playing the game. We can go here and say, hey, you know, let's make sure it's down, position is down. What we need to add is that this drone 2 is a character. So top-down engine has this cool kind of component addition thing where you can say, this is a character. I want this to be a character. And then once you add that character script, it has this auto build feature. And I am making a 3D game, so auto build player character. It's not an AI character, auto build player character. Boom, pulls in all of these scripts, the controllers, everything that we need for this to be a character. Now, what I also learned is that in order to get this to show up in game when I press play, because remember, it's not gonna be in the hierarchy anymore. If I go play right now, we're gonna see it in the hierarchy. It's gonna be huge, it's gonna be on top of the other ships. I'll show you that right now. Oh, gotta go to game mode here. If it doesn't throw an error, right? Animator, I think it threw an error on us. Okay, anyway, the point is it's going to show, oh, here we go. Okay, so now you can see it's moving with us, but this is because it's in the hierarchy and we don't want it there, right? We want it to appear later as a prefab. So let's cancel that. Let's go to the scene and drone 2, I think if I go to the project here, I see I have drone 1. I'm going to go to my prefabrications. I have drone 1. This one's going to be called drone 2. I'm going to go to my level manager because this is considered a level, the first level. Now, what I want to do is I have a prefab. I haven't created it yet, so let's wait. But basically, I'm going to go into level manager and I'm going to say drone 2 also belongs in this scene right away, or this level. Okay, so drone 2, we have Gigawatt. Now, what drone 2 also needs is they need to be able to have a weapon. So let's add a component to this, which is going to be handle weapon, character handle weapon, okay? Now, we don't know what this weapon is. I'm going to go find one. So cool thing about top-down engine, we are in the hierarchy for our own project, but if we go to assets, we have this top-down engine folder. It's hard to see on the left-hand side. Let me open this up. I have this whole hierarchy here. I have top-down engine there. I'm mainly working out of my space shooter folder, but I have top-down engine here, which has just tons of items. And you can already see it's expanded. I'm going to go down to the prefabs here, which are weapons. And I have like swords. I'm not going to use sniper, shotgun, grenade launcher, assault rifle. I'm using assault rifle and I'm using handgun already. So maybe we use a sniper rifle. This seems pretty cool. So let's throw this in to this. So let me zoom down now. So I pulled in sniper rifle. This is like pre-made weapons inside of top-down engine. And it has a model. So if I go to Gigawatt here and I make it invisible, you can see that we have the sniper rifle here. Now I could leave this, but what I'll do is I'll go to sniper rifle and I'm actually just going to get rid of that so that you don't see it, because I want it to be hidden within, inside of this this thing here. I'm going to reduce the size of this. We went to 0.15 for the other drone. And now it has a weapon, but I need to go into the drone itself. It says I have a weapon, but the initial weapon here is empty. I'm going to say, let's rename this to Gigawatt weapon. Let's go to drone 2 and let's pop that weapon right in there. Okay, so now I have a model. I got rid of the weapon. I have a model that has a weapon attached. The model is a character. The position here should be 0, 0, 0. That's going to be the position of the original ship. We'll move it over a little bit so it can be a drone on the side. Weapon use feedback. We don't need any of this yet. What we do need, though, is we need a projectile, right? So even though we have this weapon, we don't have a projectile that it's using. It has some shoot feedback. It doesn't have an object pooler for the projectile, okay? It does have the sniper rifle bullet. We need to pull the sniper rifle bullet, which is in, again, I'll zoom up here. Let's go to projectiles. We've got bullet impact, grenade, sniper rifle bullet. So let's pull this in. Now this doesn't need to go attached to this drone area. It's going to be its own thing, its own prefab. So let's do Gigawatt projectile. Now if I go to projectile or Gigawatt weapon, I can then go down to the object pooler. Now this object pooler, what does that even mean? It means that it needs to pool a certain object. Let's see, why did that not do what I wanted it to do? Let's go to the weapon. The weapon has a pooler, which is here. Oh, it has a, that's it right there. So I'm going to put the Gigawatt projectile in there because we may make some changes. And then drone 2, yep, that's good. Gigawatt, that's good. It has its own weapon. The projectile here, weapon use transformation. I don't think we need that. I think we're mostly set up. What I want to do is have an offset. So if I zoom in here, you'll see they have this like weapon offset, which might be okay. It's hard to zoom in. Let me reduce the size here. You see this little bubble in front of the ship, not the ninja stars, but the other bubble is the projectile offset. So I'm going to move that down, and I think in front of the ship is fine. So let's actually see if we can get this to shoot in its current state. I'm going to click play, but I want this position to move over to the right quite a bit. Let's actually do the left. Maybe it's easier for us to see. Whoops, let's do -6. Okay, it's a little bit off screen, but let's zoom out here. And let's press play. Okay, so we should be able to see Gigawatt on the left side of the screen, I believe. Let's take a look here. Might be giving us an error. Character component. You need to set a character model on your character component. Okay, that is an important note. So I'm looking at the errors. I have drone 2 here, but I didn't tell it that I have a model right here. That's my fault. So I'm going to drag the Gigawatt model we brought in right to that character model area. This is inside the character script that we added originally. So let's try that again. Click play. You see we got the little tiny drone off to the left here. Okay, look, it's shooting, and it's following my cursor, which is actually pretty sweet. If I move left and right, it does move. That's cool. Okay, I didn't know the sniper rifle was gonna move me around, but that is pretty awesome. So what do we do next? Well, we want that drone to attach to kind of my area, right? We don't want it to just be running on its own over here. So let's go back to the drone. Let's get rid of the -6. Let's go to, let's make this a prefab. We need it as a prefabrication now. I'm going to my prefab folder on the left-hand side hierarchy in the project folder. And you'll see here, if I move this around a little bit and move this up, that I have drone 1, drone projectile, drone weapon, guardian weapon, etc. So I need to go in here and add drone in. What I want to make sure, there's a couple things that I want to do first. Let's see, I have the projectile here. I want to offset the projectile. Let's see, I think it's actually in this. No, it's going to be in guardian weapon, projectile weapon, weapon attachment offset. I think I did like a 3 for that other character. Let me just pull it in. Let me pull in drone. Now, if I go to the drone and I go to drone weapon, yeah, I did weapon attachment offset 3. And I think I did drone 3 up here too. So let's do that to the negative. So position, we're going to do -3. And you can actually see it on screen, right? These are side by side. And the weapon also needs to be -3 so that it shoots similarly. Okay, so let's kill the drone. We don't need that. We do need to make the, let's rename this to Gigawatt. Drone 2 is fine. Let's not mess with it. Drone 2 and the projectile. We're going to call it original prefab, and we're going to do Gigawatt weapon. Okay. I don't know why it's okay. Maybe because it's already a part of it. If I open drone 2, it should have Gigawatt weapon. I don't think it's going to let me prefab. Okay, it will. And we have Gigawatt projectile, Gigawatt weapon, and we have drone 2. So I believe we have everything we need. Let's delete the projectile. Let's delete drone 2. And let's go into our level manager. And remember, we wanted to add the character. This is like another player character, right? So let's go in here and add drone 2. We'll need to drag it in actually. So we got the prefab drone 2. We're going to pop it in right there. Now I fully expect us to make some changes. I actually don't expect this to work on the first play, but let's try and see what happens here. Okay, so we got 2 ships. I have the cursor still, so it looks like it's not shooting, and it looks like we got some bugs or some errors. Let's take a look. The object pooler. Okay, the object pooler is not set. So sometimes what happens when I'm working in the hierarchy, I haven't figured out how the prefabs work exactly yet, but if I go into drone 2, I may be missing the object pooler. And that's because I may have set it originally, but then I deleted that prefab, right? That projectile. And so I need to go into the weapon, and I think I need to reset that object pooler. Yeah, look, game object to pool, nothing. So let's go to Gigawatt Gigawatt weapon, Gigawatt projectile needs to be pooled. We'll pop that in. Okay, I hope that was it. Exit the prefab to save it, and let's give it another go. Although honestly, I didn't even see the model show up, so maybe I didn't move it correctly. Okay, it's there though. You see it? You see it down here, and it's still moving. I think also I didn't restrict the movement of that one, right? There's some things obviously we need to fix here. It's so funny that it's moving like that. It's fantastic. Okay, let's go make these adjustments. So what I want to do, I'm going to open up drone 2 by clicking on it, and I'm going to go into character movement, and I want to restrict this movement to only 2 direction horizontal. Okay. Now I don't know if that's going to take care of the way that the sniper rifle works. That's pretty weird, right? But it's a good start. Make one change, go see if it worked. Let's try it. All right, loading in here. Okay, so the character is still not to the left. I would prefer it to be on the left-hand side. We're gonna go fix that. Right now, let's see if the bullet moves it. It still moves it, and as you can see, I can't move forward anymore, but this is clearly a problem. I'm gonna be moved back when I shoot. Now you can't even see me anymore. Okay, so let's go change that. I don't think I've ever made edits to that. So we have the semi-auto trigger input. I think it's causing us to be knocked back. Recoil force. So let's just do 0. 0 recoil force. There's a lot of cool features in here that are just built in. So I love that. I think you should definitely check it out. Projectile offset. This should be the -3, which for some reason didn't save. So let's see if we got those figured out here. All right, this could be it. This could be exactly what we want. Okay, it's still not offset. The projectiles are, but the muzzle flash is not, and it's following my cursor. So we have a couple things we still need to finish. Let's see if we can wrap this up really quick. Let's open up drone 2. The weapon is really what we need. First off, let's go to the drone itself. This offset needs to be fixed. It's a -3. But I think it's not in the right place. Let's do this instead, because I do notice it is on the left-hand side, but it's not appearing in for some reason. If we go to drone 1, let's see what that does. So you can see here immediately, the position for drone 1 does not have a -3 up here. Drone 2 does. So the position that I put for drone 1 was not that same position. So let's see how I changed that position. Was it clamp? No. Handle, weapon, health, character controller. Orientation 3D. This might have been it. Crouch jump movement. I don't think this is it. You know what it was? It might have been the model itself. Yes, so the position of the model is what I changed. I probably did not do that to the drone. Correct. Okay, so I'm going to do 0 there. Actually, I'm going to delete these 2. Remember, I always need to change the prefab and not the one in the hierarchy. So let's open up drone 2. Okay, now we can make a change. Let's go to the model, make sure this is -3. That should give us the offset. And if you remember, we changed the recoil, so it doesn't recoil anymore. Let's see if this works. So no recoil, the position should be updated, and they should all move together in unison. So you kind of have that main ship and its drones. Yeah, this is it, right? I don't know. I think I can get rid of this cursor, but let's shoot. Okay, pretty cool. I do have the offset. You'll see here, it's following the cursor. I don't want that, and I have the offset. So let's fix that real quick. Let's open drone 2. This is all weapon changes as well, right? So we have the magazine, the burst mode, that's fine. We have the weapon position. I'm going to put that back at 0. I think that's one of our problems. And we have no recoil force, which is great. Let's see what else we are doing. Projectile spawn. Actually, this needs to be 0. And the weapon attachment offset needs to be -3. That way they'll be aligned. They should be aligned in the same place. What else? We have weapon aim. We don't really even want weapon aim. Maybe we kill that. So I've just turned that off. Let's save, and let's see if we got this finally figured out. All right, here we go. We did. We got it figured out, guys. some other things we probably need to figure out, like, you know, if you notice these characters, when they go to the left, they kind of move in, like this one isn't stuck. This one here will move in after it hits the wall, which we don't want. And then if you get too close to this wall, it stops moving. But, you know, there's a lot of changes that you can always make to these games. You can get into the nitty gritty of just making everything perfect. Obviously, those are pretty huge glaring issues that we need to solve. But what I wanted to show you in here is that you can jump in, you could get top-down engine, you can jump in Unity, you can use AI to help you through things. You can open up Blender. Blender's a free tool. It's an incredible tool. And you can use it to make edits and learn about 3D models. And you don't have to make the 3D models. You can, you know, if you have a little bit of money, 3D models are pretty cheap on Fiverr. You know, I think maybe $10, $20, $30, you can get certain models set up. So I just want to encourage you to jump in, make something fun. This was super fun. You can get free models. You can get models that you can buy in asset packs. Just jump in and make something. I think top-down engine is awesome. I hope you guys learned something from this and were encouraged. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.